Hey everyone, let's chat about Canada. It's known for maple syrup, being polite, and some big changes coming to how people move there. In 2025, Canada is changing its immigration rules. Immigration Minister Marc Miller is in charge, and he wants to make sure Canada can still welcome people while managing its resources. So what's changing? Let's take a look. First, things are changing for international students. The landscape of higher education in Canada is undergoing a significant transformation, and it's crucial to understand the implications. Lots of people are asking for asylum and coming to Canada to study, which has always been a popular destination for international students due to its high-quality education system and multicultural environment. However, the increasing number of asylum seekers and international students is creating unprecedented challenges, and it's putting a strain on things. The housing market, in particular, is feeling the pressure. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver are experiencing a surge in demand for rental properties, making it difficult for both local and international students to find affordable housing. So, Canada might limit student permits to 2 years. This potential policy change aims to manage the influx of students and asylum seekers more effectively. By limiting the duration of student permits, the government hopes to alleviate some of the pressure on housing and other resources. This is to deal with the backlog of asylum claims and ease pressure on housing. The backlog has been growing steadily, and the current system is struggling to keep up with the demand. Limiting student permits could be a temporary solution to help manage the situation. We don't know yet how this will affect universities and students already in Canada. Universities rely heavily on the tuition fees paid by international students, and a reduction in the number of students could have financial implications for these institutions. Will it stop smart people from coming to Canada? The country has always been a magnet for talented individuals from around the world, and it's uncertain whether this policy change will deter them from pursuing their education here. We'll have to wait and see. The future of international education in Canada is at a crossroads, and only time will tell how these changes will shape the landscape for students and universities alike. Canada used to let in 500,000 new permanent residents a year. Not anymore. This significant change marks a shift in the country's immigration policy, which has long been one of the most welcoming in the world. The decision to reduce the number of new permanent residents is a response to various pressures and challenges that the country is currently facing. In 2025, that number is dropping to 395,000, which is 21% less. This reduction is part of a broader strategy to balance the needs of the economy with the capacity of public services. The government has emphasized that this move is temporary and subject to review based on future conditions. The aim is to ensure that the infrastructure can keep pace with the growing population. Why? To manage the impact on things like roads, hospitals, and schools. These essential services have been under strain due to the rapid population growth. Congested roads lead to longer commute times. Crowded hospitals result in longer wait times for medical care. And busy schools can affect the quality of education. By slowing down the rate of new arrivals, the government hopes to alleviate some of these pressures. But Canada needs workers, and new residents often fill those jobs. The labor market is experiencing shortages in various sectors, from construction to healthcare. Immigrants play a crucial role in filling these gaps, contributing to the economy and helping to sustain growth. The challenge lies in finding a balance between welcoming new residents and ensuring that the country's infrastructure can support them. It's a tough situation, and we'll have to see if Canada made the right choice. The decision has sparked debate among policymakers, economists, and the public. Some argue that reducing immigration will help manage resources better, while others believe it could hinder economic growth and innovation. Only time will tell if this policy adjustment will achieve its intended goals, or if further changes will be necessary. The Temporary Foreign Worker Program helps businesses find workers, especially in sectors where there is a shortage of local labor. This program has been a lifeline for many industries, including agriculture, hospitality, and construction. These sectors often struggle to find enough workers to meet their needs, and the program provides a solution by allowing businesses to hire foreign workers on a temporary basis. However, It's also been controversial. Critics argue that the program can be exploited, leading to unfair treatment of foreign workers. There have been instances where workers have faced poor working conditions, low wages, and even abuse. These issues have sparked protests and heated debates among policymakers, labor rights activists, and business owners. In response to these concerns, Canada is making it smaller, implementing stricter regulations and reducing the number of temporary foreign workers allowed into the country. The government aims to ensure that the program is used responsibly and that foreign workers are treated fairly. The goal is to reduce temporary residence from 6.2% to 5% over 3 years. This reduction is part of a broader strategy to balance the labor market and protect the rights of all workers. By decreasing the reliance on temporary foreign workers, the government hopes to encourage businesses to invest in local talent and improve working conditions for everyone. The goal is to make sure wages are fair and competitive, ensuring that foreign workers are not underpaid compared to their local counterparts. This move is expected to create a more level playing field and prevent the exploitation of vulnerable workers. Additionally, the government wants to ensure that workers aren't taken advantage of. This includes providing better oversight and support for foreign workers, such as access to training programs and resources to help them integrate into the workforce. This could mean better pay and improved working conditions for foreign workers. With fair wages and proper training, these workers can contribute more effectively to the economy and enjoy a better quality of life. More training for workers is also a key component of the new regulations. By investing in the skills and development of foreign workers, businesses can benefit from a more skilled and efficient workforce. This not only helps the workers, but also boosts productivity and competitiveness for the businesses that employ them. But it could also make it hard for some businesses to find the workers they need. With fewer temporary foreign workers available, businesses may face challenges in filling positions, especially in industries that are already experiencing labor shortages. This could lead to increased costs and operational difficulties for some companies. It's a risk, and we'll see if it works. The success of these changes will depend on how well businesses adapt to the new regulations and whether they can find alternative solutions to their labor needs. Only time will tell if the balance between protecting workers' rights and meeting the demands of the labor market can be achieved. Canada has a lot of asylum applications to process. The plan is to make the process faster and reject ineligible cases quickly. Some people worry that good applications might be rejected by mistake. It's important to be fair and efficient. The government has to be careful not to seem like it's turning away people who really need help. Welcoming newcomers is great, but only if there's enough space for them. Canada needs more housing, and its essential services are overloaded. The government wants to adjust immigration levels so that newcomers can settle in properly. Finding solutions to these problems is important if Canada wants to keep welcoming people without putting too much strain on the system. Immigration isn't just about being nice, it's about the economy. Canada wants newcomers who can fill jobs and help the economy grow. This makes sense, as it helps everyone. But immigrants are people, not just workers. Focusing only on their economic value isn't right. Okay, so let's see how these changes might affect different parts of Canada, like healthcare, technology, and education. In healthcare, we might see a bigger shortage of doctors and nurses. This could mean longer wait times for patients and maybe even some problems getting the care they need. The tech industry relies on talented people from all over the world. These new rules might make it harder for tech companies to grow and come up with new ideas. Education could be impacted too. Fewer international students might choose to study in Canada. This could mean less diversity on campuses and less money for universities and colleges. Now, let's see how other countries are dealing with similar situations. Australia has made it easier for skilled workers to get visas, but they're also making sure that Canadians get jobs too. Germany has programs to help immigrants learn German and find jobs quickly. Canada can learn from these countries and create a system that works well for everyone. By looking at what's working in other places, Canada can address its own challenges and keep welcoming newcomers. After all, immigrants bring new ideas and help Canada grow stronger. Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're talking about some new immigration rules and what they could mean for Canada. We're going to hear from some experts and newcomers about their thoughts. First up, we have Sarah Mitchell, an immigration lawyer. She says these changes might make things faster, but they could also mean we miss out on people with important skills. She thinks it's super important to find a good balance. Next, we'll hear from Raj, who works in IT and just moved to Canada. He says he came here because of the great opportunities and how welcoming everyone is. He's worried these new rules will make it harder for people like him to come here and help out. Now let's hear from Dr. Emily Chen. She's an economist, and she says these changes could have a big impact on our economy. If it's harder for people to immigrate here, it could slow things down in areas like healthcare and technology, which really need skilled workers. Finally, we have Maria, an international student. She says Canada has always been a dream place for students like her to come and study. She's worried that if the rules get too tough, students might choose to go to other countries. So as you can see, these new rules could really change things. These stories show how these changes could affect real people. As we think about the future, we need to ask ourselves how these changes will shape Canada's immigration policy and how Canada fits in with the rest of the world. Will Canada still be a place where people can come for a better life? Or will it be harder to attract the best and the brightest? Gap 2S. Okay, let's wrap things up with some final thoughts. Okay, everyone, as we wrap up our talk today, let's think about what happens next. Canada's new rules about immigration are causing a lot of discussion, and it's important to figure out how to handle these changes. Let's quickly go over some important points we talked about. The new rules might make things faster, but we might miss out on skilled people who can help Canada grow. Experts like Sarah Mitchell believe we need a balanced way to handle this. We heard Raj's story, which showed us the great things Canada offers and how these changes might affect people coming to live here. Dr. Emily Chen talked about how these changes could affect our economy, especially in areas like healthcare and technology. And we can't forget Maria's worries about international students maybe choosing other countries over Canada. So what can we do? If these changes affect you, or if you're worried about them, the first thing to do is get informed. There's a lot of information available to help you understand these changes and what they mean for you. Groups like the Canadian Immigration Council and groups in your local community can give you advice and support. It's also super important to talk about this and share your thoughts. Your voice matters. Whether it's online in community groups or by talking to your local leaders, your opinion can help shape Canada's immigration policies in the future. Before we finish, we'll go over the main points again and give you some resources if you want to learn more or get involved in the conversation about Canada's immigration policies. Figuring out these changes won't be easy, but if we make informed choices and participate in the conversation, we can help make sure Canada is still a welcoming place for everyone. Now, let's move on to our final thoughts. So that's a look at Canada's immigration changes for 2025. These changes aim to address worries about housing, resources, and the immigration system. But will these changes hurt the economy and discourage skilled workers from coming? It's a tough balancing act. Only time will tell how these changes will affect Canada and the rest of the world.